We started off the year on a political note. In January, Ranch Pillay was sworn in as the territory's 10th premier. He was the only person to put his name forward after former Premier Sandy Silver announced he was stepping down as leader of the Yukon Liberal Party in the fall of 2022.
Our team is strong, we are passionate, committed, and dedicated to serving all Yukoners as we advance the territory in the years ahead.
Sticking with politics, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau paid a visit to the territory the following month. Just days before his arrival, NORAD shot down an unidentified object which landed in north-central Yukon. That object has never been recovered.
Our focus right now is on recovering it. Obviously, there is much analysis going on at the highest levels of NORAD in both Canada and the United States to try and understand more, to facilitate in the location of the object and to understand better and be able to answer the questions that Canadians have.
Also on the agenda was a celebration for the 50th anniversary of the document Together Today. The document is credited for leading 11 of the 14 First Nations in the territory to settle their land claims agreements.
But what this anniversary shows here for First Nations in Yukon is that we can get there. And not just here, but everywhere.
It's heartbreaking. As a parent, you put trust in public servant, and I feel like it's failed.
In April, our bureau broke a story on an Indigenous teenager who claimed RCMP members in Whitehorse used excessive force while arresting her. Later that month, Yukon RCMP said the Alberta Serious Incident Response Team, or ASIRT, was investigating an incident that took place that same evening. There's been no word yet on that investigation.
We understand it's frustrating for the family. You know, their family member is missing. They want them found.
This spring, we also brought you a story on the disappearance of Ramona Peter. The 40-year-old Casca woman was last seen in her home community of Ross River on April 21st. Now 8 months into her disappearance, her whereabouts are still unknown.
My feet are back on my soil, so.
The return of Sharman Smith, a Carcross-Tagish First Nation citizen, also made headlines this past spring. Smith was charged with trafficking the stimulant cat in 2016 on her way back to Canada. She spent the next 7 years detained in Turkey.
I need recovery is what I need. And it's an emotional recovery, emotional journey that I'll be on next.
Perhaps the biggest story to come out of the Yukon this year was the evacuation of 2 First Nations communities due to wildfires. In August, Mayo and Old Crow were evacuated in the face of approaching wildfires. The fires did not reach either community, and residents were able to return shortly after.
There are still children whose names we do not know, children whose cause of death we do not know. And we do not know where the majority of these children have been buried.
Just days before the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, officials in Yukon announced the discovery of 15 potential graves at the former site of the Chutla Residential School. It was the first search to take place in the Northern Territories.
This is going to go for some time, help a lot of people. They now have the answers, which is really important.
The effectiveness of the emergency shelter in downtown Whitehorse was a hot topic this fall. In late September, disturbances caused by shelter users forced the owners of a popular bakery to temporarily close its doors. That closure ruffled feathers in the legislature, prompting the government to promise changes, like increased safety measures for the downtown core. It's still unclear whether the bakery will reopen its doors.
In 3, 2, 1, go! Have fun!
Ending on a high note, in November, we spoke to an incredible elder out of Lower Post, British Columbia, near the Yukon border. Jerry Porter fulfilled a lifelong wish to go skydiving while visiting Auckland, New Zealand. Now 3 years into what he calls a sobriety journey, the elder is happy to be living life to the fullest.
Doing what I want to do is to be sober and be the best grandpa around.
That's your 2023 Yukon Year in Review. Sara Connors, APTN National News.